Hello, welcome back. Now let's see how we could create a Azure Synapse Analytics. So in order to create Azure Synapse Analytics Workspace, click on Create Resource. Now let's go to Analytics and you could see Azure Synapse Analytics. Click on Create and we need to specify some basic information. First we need to specify a resource group name. Into which resource group are you going to deploy this resource? You could use the existing resource group or you could specify a new resource group name. I'm going to specify one new name. So I'm going to use a new name, Synapse User Resource Group. Also we need to specify manage resource group name. This is optional. So if you create a Azure Synapse Analytics, Azure will manage some of the resources. And if you want to specify a resource group name for those resources, you could specify the name. Otherwise, Microsoft will deploy the resource to some resource group and you could access the resource group. But if you want to specify the exact name for those resource group, you could specify that. So let me specify this resource group name. Also, we could specify workspace name. We need to specify a unique name and there are some restrictions also. So let me specify a simple name, step to see Synapse. So this is the workplace name I'm going to use and you could see there are some restrictions and this name should be unique. We should use a unique name. Now let's select the location. I'm going to select East US, but you could select a different location. Now we need to specify a data lake Gen 2. So if you already have a data lake and if the data lake is Gen 2, you could directly use or you could create a new one. So let me create a new data lake. And this name also should be unique. So I'm going to specify data lake Gen 2 step to see Synapse. But if you specify something like data, you could see there is an error saying that this name is not unique. Someone is already using. So we have to specify a unique name for our storage account. So this is data lake Gen 2 storage account and click OK. Now we need to specify a file system. That means container inside our data lake. So I'm going to specify a simple name called file system Synapse. You could specify any name, but we need to specify one container name for our data lake. So this container and data lake will be used by our Synapse Analytics. Now if you want, you could go to review and create and you could continue, but let's go to security. And Azure Synapse will create a Azure SQL pool. And to access the SQL pools, either you could restrict using Active Directory authentication or you could access them locally using username and password. So if you want to specify custom username and password, you could specify. So I'm going to use, instead of SQL admin user, I'm going to use Synapse admin user. Synapse admin user. And we could specify a password. We need to specify one password if you are using local authentication. So let's specify one password and you need to enter the password twice. Now if you want to encrypt using customer managed key, you could enable and you could specify those details. And inside networking, you could deploy this service inside a managed network, but I'm going to use the existing configuration. Now you could enable access this Synapse Analytics from any IP address or you could restrict them. But I'm going to enable access from any IP. But if you are using this Synapse in a production environment, never enable this option. You should enable a specific IP address to access your resources. But for development purpose and testing, you could enable this option. Now let's go to tags, and if you want to specify any tag, you could specify. Let's go to review and create, and you could see the current configuration. So our validation is in progress, and once the validation get completed, you could see the overview of your current selections. So validation is completed, and you could see you will be charged this much amount per TB, and the basic configuration, all the configuration which you selected you could see here, and the username and the password. Now if you want to make any changes, you could go back to previous tabs and you could make the changes, and let's click on create. So this is going to create a Azure Synapse Workspace, and the deployment is started, and it will take 1 or 2 minutes. So that's all for this video. Thanks for watching.